Yep, President says we said here, the NBA is going to take a little bit of time off, Major League Baseball getting their pitchers and catchers together, but the NCAA will take center stage. Not a lot of games, but some decent action as we looked at previous to some line movements here in the Virginia Tech-Virginia game. Battle Virginia takes center stage today in Blacksburg. -5.5 is what we're looking at, as we said, across the board. We'll see how those games line up as the day goes on. Total of 121.5. Actually, Teddy, that line is on the move. Now seeing 119s and actually some blinking on sportsbookreview.com right here, SBRodds.com. 120s now showing up on the board. Money line split -245, +203. 7 p.m. tonight on ESPN. UVA has been a friend of the spread backers, Teddy. 7-1 against the spread on the road. 8-4 in conference play this year. 15-7 as a favorite. And 5-1 against the spread. All those numbers point to UVA tonight, Teddy.
Sure. The first meeting points to UVA. It was 81-59, that first meeting. And I don't even know if it was that close. It was really a one-sided affair in that contest. And, of course, Virginia, they didn't play well over the weekend against Notre Dame. 60-54, they got the win. They never sniffed a point spread cover. Game stayed well under the total. Kyle Guy after the win. I think that we are never going to apologize for a win, no matter what it looks like. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't Virginia's best game. And now we've seen this a lot over the last couple of weeks, where the look-ahead matchup is definitely affecting teams the game before. We saw it last week with both Kentucky and Tennessee. We saw it over the weekend with Virginia and Virginia Tech. And yeah, Virginia Tech got a push in the win at Pitt over the weekend. They, too, did not play particularly well in that contest, despite the fact that, Kerry Blackshear poured in 29 points in that ballgame. He's got to come out of nowhere. Not out of nowhere, but he certainly wasn't doing what he's doing right now. 5 straight games in double figures, 68% shooting over the last 2. Buzz Williams, we have to play through him. He's our best passer. He's our best playmaker. He has the highest basketball IQ on the team. Hokies, 5-0 in ACC games where they shoot 50% or better from the field. I don't think they get to 50% tonight. I can understand why the money has come on the road favorite Cavaliers.
Fighting Illini going on the road in Big Ten plays, the second part of our doubleheader tonight on Fox Sports 1 from the Kohl Center in Madison, Wisconsin, a Big Ten tip. And look at this, some movement here, maybe even more movement as the day goes on. Line opened up at 11. One time we were punching up the script there, as Teddy is changing right now for us, folks, to give those updates. -9.5 right now if we take a look at the total. Hasn't changed much, 135.5, money line split +400, -600. Illinois, 4-4 on the road this year against the spread, 11-14 in all games this year, and 7-7 against the spread in conference play. Wisconsin coming in here because, look, if you're going to slow the pace down, winning by 10 points is obviously harder to do than if you're going to speed the game up and get more possessions and extra possessions to extend that lead. So I agree with that early line movement, Teddy. 11 seemed like a lot, now down to 9. We'll see where it ends up today, but an interesting game.
Sure, it really is a fascinating game. And this is an Illini team. They were bad. They were bad in November. They were bad in December. They were as bad as anyone in the Big Ten for a good portion of January. Now they've won 4 in a row, 5 out of 6. And not just anybody, They beat Michigan State, beat them flat out. They beat Ohio State on the road, their first true road win of the season last week. And the quotes coming out of that locker room are positive ones. Ayo Dosunmu, we want more. We're not satisfied. Our main focus is Wisconsin and trying to get to 5th in the row. We're trying to make history. And I love this quote. We're the only people who believe in us. So we just need to stay together. You like the team that nobody believes in us but us. Those teams can and do go on big point spread runs, especially late in the campaign where the power ratings are already pretty much cemented. Illini's power rating has been going up, but incrementally, the markets are saying, hey, this team's a lot better than they were just a month ago. Of course, a month ago, they lost at home to Wisconsin. It wasn't a particularly close game. The Badgers won by 12. And in that contest, Ethan Happ wasn't even good. That's probably the scariest thing for the Illini, is that Wisconsin won by 12. And Happ, he had 6 turnovers in that game. He was in foul trouble throughout. He wasn't anywhere near at his best. And, of course, traveling up to Madison, off a road win. Can Illinois maintain their composure? They have a big 3. 2 freshmen and a sophomore. Not always easy to get road wins and or covers when your big 3 are all underclassmen and you're traveling up to Madison to take on a Badgers team that back-to-back losses Michigan and Michigan State, their last 2 ball games. This is obviously, after playing those 2 teams, a little bit of a step down in class and potentially a circle the wagon spot for Wisconsin if they're actually good enough to win this game by margin, which if Illinois plays as well as they have, they'll be in this game. If Illinois gets a little bit looking at the lights and feeling about how good they've done, Wisconsin has potential to beat them by 20 or more.